Alright brothers, we have a request from a patron here, a real nice fella by the name of Christo, which as far as I'm aware is also the name of a sandwich. He wants to know about these Final Fantasy Legends, and trust me, there's going to be plenty of videos about these Final Fantasy Legends. You know why, dude? Because that's what this channel is. It's videos about Magic the Gathering and the little cards that we all like to play with. Alright? That's why you should subscribe to this channel, brother. We got all kinds of activities we get into. We got guys in the Discord there. You know, they're not passing military secrets in there, I promise, if there's any FBI agents listening. And if there's none listening, we got military secrets up the wazoo in there, brother. They're also, in fact, talking about magic cards in there. We got Patreon. We got all kinds of stuff. All right, this one's for you, buddy. Terra Magical Adept is 1 in red and a green for a legendary creature, human wizard warrior. It's a 4/2. Has when it enters, mill 5 cards. Put up to 1 enchantment card milled this way into your hand. Has trance, 4 red and a green. Has tap, exile it, return it to the battlefield, transformed under its owner's control. Activate only as a sorcery. What do you know? It's a transformer in the Final Fantasy, dude. I thought we were done with the transformers, but we're not, brother. This is Esper Terra. It's a red and green legendary enchantment. It's a saga wizard. It's a flying 6/6er. Has 1, 2, and 3 on the saga. Create a token that's a copy of target non-legendary enchantment you control. It gains haste if it's a saga. Put up to 3 lore counters on it. Sacrifice at the beginning of your next end step. And once you get to level 4 here, you're adding 2 white, 2 blue, 2 black, 2 red, 2 green. Exile it, return it to the battlefield front face up. It's a very interesting card, very interesting commander. Kind of gives you a sweet little build path here. It's 5 colors due to the mana symbols on the back, right? That's the color identity. You only need red and green to start out, and that's a solid base to build on. Green is going to be your base anyways if you're building a 5-color deck. You need some supreme fixing if you want to get into 5 colors. Thankfully, green has at least a dozen enchantments to help you color fix. How about Sanctum Weaver? Still under $3. It's an enchantment creature dryad. Has tap, add X mana of any one color, where X is the number of enchantments you control. Fertile Ground, incredible card. I use this card as a nice little ramp and color fixing piece because usually people aren't targeting lands. Every once in a while they do, but those are real sons of bees out there. Sometimes they do, but this increases your enchantment count. Kind of a new one here. It's interesting. The Path of Annihilation. 3 and a green for an enchantment. Has Devoid. Has no color. When this enchantment enters, create 2 0/1 colorless Eldrazi spawn creature tokens with sacrifice this token, add colorless. Eldrazi you control have tap, add 1 mana of any color. Whenever you cast a creature spell with mana value 7 or greater, you gain 4 life. It's kind of a neat little card. It's 4 mana, but this can generate a big burst of mana. Tap the dudes for colored mana, then sack them for value. Get your 4 mana right back. Boost you ahead later in the game. People shy away from using those cards, but I think they're neat. Trace of Abundance, New Horizons, Weirding Wood. Basically, you want all these enchantments to increase your enchantment count. Now, of course, green and white have some sweet draw engines like Eidolon of Blossom, Setessan Champion, Enchantress's Presence, Sithis Harvest Hand. You're building into enchantments. You want as many as you can possibly get into this deck, so load up on those draw engines, brother. But listen, Gruul also got some enchantment cookies in the Bloomburrow set, like this guy, Bellow Bard of the Brambles. You got a lot of B sounds there. That's alliteration, brother. And that's better commander, dude. 1 red and a green, legendary creature, Raccoon Bard. Saw a raccoon running around my backyard the other day. I didn't ask what his occupation was, though. During your turn, each non-equipment artifact and non-aura enchantment you control with mana value 4 or greater is a 4/4 elemental creature in addition to its other types and has indestructible haste. And whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. This guy, at 3 mana and $2, is a damn win condition in this deck, provided you get enough big enchantments out there. And that's a perfect segue into one of my favorite elemental wolves, Wild Seer, the Scouring Maw. This guy's a 6/6 with trample. Enchantment spells you cast from your hand have Cascade. It's a great way to get more enchantment permanents out there, and you want lots of them on the battlefield. Now, I know I said load up on enchantments and then I plugged a couple non-enchantment creatures like a damn fool out here, but don't worry, we're getting back into it. And thankfully, if you want to build in some big non-legendary beaters to copy with that backside, that sweet backside of Terra, there are a bunch out there. Nyx Bloom Ancient, one of the best cards out there in the format, if you ask me. Great to copy with Terra's backside, and that's what she said. Too bad it's like $30 or so. Well, what if you only had 15 cents rotting a hole in your pocket? You got the Demon of Fate's Design. 4 black, enchantment creature, demon. It's a 6/6, has flying and trample. Once during each of your turns, you may cast an enchantment spell by paying life equal to its mana value rather than paying its mana cost. It's pretty cool. Has 2 and a black, sack another enchantment. This creature gets +X/+O until end of turn, where X is the sacrifice enchantment's mana value. So you can do that with stuff you copy with Terra too. Matter of fact, Commander Masters had a whole damn precon filled with enchantment creature goodies, including the above. You might want to think about a Nixthia, Hand of Erebos, 2 white, black, and a green legendary enchantment creature Demigod. It's a 4/4 with menace. Other enchantment creatures you control have menace. Whenever it enters or attacks, exile up to 1 target non-aura enchantment card from your graveyard. Create a token that's a copy of that card, except it's a 3/3 black zombie creature token in addition to its other types. Cool card that kind of synergizes on the mill Terra does when she comes in. Now don't stop there, dude. We had another set with some beefy enchantment creatures very recently, and that's Duskmourn. Look at this guy, 29 cents for the Fear of Sleep Paralysis. 5 and a blue for an enchantment creature, Nightmare. It's a 6/6, has flying, and it's also eerie. Kind of like Nikki G. Whenever this creature or another enchantment you control enters, and whenever you fully unlock a room, which we're not too worried about, tap up to 1 target creature and put a stun counter on it. Stun counters can't be removed from permanents your opponent's control. This is a great thing to copy, man, because it's getting that ETB and it's getting the ETB off the thing that you're ETBing. This fella's getting handsy. No pun intended. About to grab all 3 of my nuts. And of course that set had some other big creatures like the Overlord buddies. They're going to be really good in this deck, man, but you know, they're kind of expensive. Overlord of the Baelmerk, Overlord of the Hauntwoods, very expensive cards. So how would I build this thing, aside from the 30 or so cards I mentioned up above? Well, you need lots of ramp and fixing, probably about 12 sources or so, maybe more. From there, it's 5 color. You know, I would search for enchantment creatures, just cards in general that pay off enchantments. There are quite a few, obviously. You could also delve into some of the better auras, like Ethereal Armor, Ancestral Mask, you know, Scented Mask, whatever the heck I was saying, dude. Those are going to beef up some of your bigger critters, get in there, knock out some damage. You're going to check out the deck list I got in the description here. It's interesting to Goldfish. It's all 5 colors, lots of directions to build into, including sagas. If you like sagas, man, go nuts. You can just make a whole saga deck out of this thing if you wanted to. I don't really care. I'm not a big fan of sagas unless it's Saga Anderson from Alan Wake 2. Big fan of her, dude. Listen, this is not a budget deck, though. Be forewarned, there's some expensive cards in there. I decided to get a little nuts with this one. You know, usually I do very budget decks, but every once in a while, let's splurge, buddy. Enchantments as an archetype are pretty powerful, and you're unfettered by any color requirements, so go nuts, man. You can go into some pretty esoteric stuff, Chromanticore, all that fun stuff. Terra seems pretty powerful, although it's essentially 9 mana to get this thing flipped, so you may want to include some counter magic or protection auras, cards like Asceticism, Privileged Position, Curator's Ward if you feel like putting that in there. These can really up your enchantment count and protect that big beefy commander, because people are going to target it. You know, as soon as you put that transform ability on the stack, somebody's going to get clever with it, dude. You know, you also have Archetype of Endurance. It's another good one, but that dude is 8 mana. Anyways, very powerful commander. You get to flip it, which is fun. People like flip-flopping, you know what I mean? They flip stuff. They flip their pancakes. They do all kinds of stuff. People love flipping things over. They love melding things. You know, these are all things you can do with magic cards or your wife. Either one. Check it out, dude. Nikki G, Better Commander, signing off.